I'm Jeff Cornwall, and this is the Entrepreneurial Mind. Today I had the pleasure of talking to one of the alums of my program, which is Jake Jorgovan. We'll be talking with Jake about his newest adventure after this message from our sponsor.
Bandwidth for today's show is brought to you by SoftLayer.com. We love SoftLayer here at Talkapolis. They are the greatest hosting company ever. They make everything easy. Check out their website at SoftLayer.com. Thanks again for sponsoring the show.
Talkapolis, the social media TV network for your city.
Welcome back, everybody, and I'm here today with Jake Jorgovan. Jake, it's good to see you again.
Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah. So tell me how a guy who is an audio engineer who started a video company gets into physical therapy.
It's been a crazy kind of adventure and ride, but I started off a long time ago in audio production, first company doing a lot with audio production for live events, and initially partnered with my partner, and he was the video side and I was the audio side, and eventually it became a video company and there was no audio, but I learned it all along the way.
Right.
And after doing that for several years, grew that company for quite a bit and was just looking for something that I could build a product and something that had ability to scale. And I came across this idea of using the Xbox Connect in physical therapy.
Okay, wait. Using the Xbox Connect in physical therapy. How does one come up with that idea?
Kind of had a mentor of mine who threw
It's not a random Friday night idea when you're sitting there with the Xbox going, dude, physical therapy.
Yeah. I had a mentor of mine who kind of threw the idea out there initially and was like, I think this could be something really interesting, and did some research on it and found all these thesis papers, found people that were starting to dabble with the idea. And that's kind of when I dove in and just decided, this is something I want to pursue. I'd been looking at something and it was kind of my initial idea. I was like, I'm going to go toward this. And lo and behold, after exploring that for about 2 months, realized it wasn't going to work.
Right.
But, dove in, and that kind of got me to learn the physical therapy industry and looking for ways to innovate using video technology in that space.
So you saw some opportunity in the industry, but just didn't have a very good idea for the industry at that point.
Yeah, it was a lot of, when I jumped in, I didn't know much about the industry at all. I knew more about the technology than I knew about the industry. So I spent probably about 2.5 months just learning everything I could about the industry, and it came to that conclusion after that this original idea wasn't going to work. But at that point, had learned so much about the industry and saw some other ways to kind of innovate and provide.
What was that spark? What did you see in terms of the pain in that market that you wanted to tackle? What was not getting done?
I just saw that there was, when you're looking at especially a lot of things in healthcare, there's a lot of new ways to use technology to make the system more efficient or to do something that it's not ready for yet. And so when I looked at that, I said, well, if we can't use the Xbox Connect, that's way too far ahead. The technology is too expensive. What if we created just a simple telehealth platform for physical therapy? So a simple way to connect a physical therapist and a patient over a video conferencing platform, similar to Skype or FaceTime, but focusing that for physical therapists, doing it on a secure HIPAA-compliant network.
So why is that important? Why is that something that people are willing to pay for?
Because it gives the patients convenience so that they don't have to actually go travel to their visits as often. It allows them to do more regular follow-ups for physical therapists. So a lot of patients, they'll drop off because they don't want to leave work 3 days a week to go visit their physical therapist. So if they're able to do 1 day a week in person and then do 2 telehealth consultations, then they're able to keep that regular engagement, keep that motivation, but able to do that with a lower cost and really increase that access to care.
So who sees the value in this enough to pay for it? Because it sounds like a cool idea, but from lots of years of hanging around me, there's a lot of cool ideas that just there aren't revenue streams for.
Yeah, and that's kind of some of the issues we found with the early concepts. But with this, it's really a win for everyone in the chain. For the patient, it's convenience because they're saving time out of their day. And for the therapist, it helps them because it's lowering their cancellation rates. So if someone's going to cancel an appointment, they can offer a telehealth session. And they're able to still engage and connect with that patient, So that's a really big kind of value proposition for them, and it helps them treat more patients that otherwise just wouldn't show up for those visits.
And are they able to bill for those visits?
Yeah. So the laws vary state to state. So there's certain laws that they have telehealth reimbursement mandates. So those are the states we're initially starting in, and those laws are really growing rapidly right now, which is in favor for telehealth all around. So
interesting. So the insurance company is kind of out of play, and so who buys this? The practice?
Yeah, so this is something that we're actually selling to physical therapists, and they use this as a tool to connect with their patients. So it's a tool that they actually purchase.
And they see increased revenue flow out of owning this piece of software.
Yeah, because those are sessions that they otherwise would lose.
All right, let's talk about Obamacare and all of this, because I mean, there's some changes that a lot of us are scratching our heads trying to figure out what this actually is going to mean, especially for smaller companies, and a lot of physical therapists are small business owners. What is that going to mean for your business?
Well, with a lot of these physical therapists, when they're starting to get these ACO contracts, they're basically getting a capped amount of money to treat a claim. So they'll say you get $1,000 to treat this claim, and it's however you want to do that. However you want to spend that money, whatever you want to do, you get $1,000 to get this claim better, and they have certain measurable outcomes they have to hit. And that's really great for us because that means that there's no more governing how that treatment's done as much. It's as long as the treatment achieves the outcome, regardless of if they do it through telehealth or not, then they get that $1,000.
So in many ways, you're selling greater efficiency for that practitioner.
Yeah, if they can prove that they can do this more efficiently, which we've talked to over 100 therapists who believe that there are ways that they can put this in their practice to be more efficient, then this will help them lower their costs as well.
All right, so as you got this thing going, I mean, you've not been in physical therapy. Talk about the team that you had to kind of build around you to make this all work. I mean, you're pretty amazing what you've accomplished, but you've got to have a pretty good support network to make something like this happen.
Yeah, so I've gotten an investor who's kind of helped back me to get this going and off the
Healthcare
ground.
guy?
No, he actually created the venture that Redbox. He built all the technology
Okay.
behind that. And so
So a
he's
technologist.
Yeah, he's much more a technology guy, and kind of he's one that threw out the original Xbox idea and has kind of helped back this up to where it is now. And so he's financially been helping back this, and then we've also got two amazing developers who currently work for Medical Reimbursements of America and are kind of moonlighting the project at night to help kind of build the platform and have a lot of knowledge in the healthcare space about HIPAA compliance and everything, and they've been helping on the technology side of it. We're keeping the team small right now until we launch our beta this month and really get it out there in the world and see how physical therapists really respond to it.
And have you done some testing with physical therapists? Have you gone out and kind of played around with what you think the features are going to be to see how they react? And how do you do that? How do you get them engaged?
I mean, a lot of it, when you're doing something new and innovative, you can really just go talk to people, and if it's something that they really are actually care about and will want to buy, they're going to be open to talking to you about it.
What was the biggest surprise you heard from one of those conversations?
You know, I had over 100 conversations with the therapist, and you get all sorts of mixed opinions, and you have some that will say, I will never do that, I'm not going to use that new technology. And then you have versus other ones that are really open-minded and, excited about it. So
I said that about the personal computer, by the way. So
yeah, and of course, you're going to have the slow adopters and you're going to have the early adopters.
Right.
So it's a matter, you never know. Every conversation's different.
So there wasn't one aha moment. You talked to one guy and he kind of set you straight?
I had to
was
talk
it
to
a cumulative?
It was a cumulative. I realized early on that all physical therapists have very different opinions, and so you have to talk to a lot of them before you can really come to any sort of conclusion.
And that's such an important message to get out to people. And I see so many startups find one or, okay, they don't just talk to their family. They talk to one or two customers, and they think that's enough, but it's not.
You've got to talk to a lot of customers when you're doing any startup, because a lot of them will also tell you, yeah, just to be nice. And then eventually you'll find the ones that are like, no, you're an idiot, this is not going to work.
And some lie, and some kind of lie to you, whether it's intentional or not.
Yeah, and then it's also, when you actually go to that point where you ask them, okay, if I were to present this tomorrow, would you pay this amount for it? And that's when you really start to get the answers of, oh yeah, I guess I would pay for that.
So you're rolling out next month, you said, I think?
Rolling out some early betas, so it's not going to
Okay.
be commercial launch yet, but getting it
Okay.
inside
You've got a couple practices that are going to try it out.
Yeah, we've got a handful of clinics from around the country that we've got letters of intent from that are going to beta test this, and while it's in beta, really roll out all the features for a public launch.
So you got to get ready for very little sleep coming up pretty soon, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's going to get a little crazy, but it's exciting.
Oh, wonderful. Well, can we have you back to get an update?
Yeah,
in a few
definitely,
months?
definitely.
All right, good. Jake, always good to see you.
Definitely, thanks.
We're very proud of all you've done. You're one of the Belmont alums that make us so proud, so thanks for that.
Well, thank you, Dr. C.
Talkapolis, the social media TV network for your city.